Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the night goes on, as do the games, both best of threes going the whole way. We have climbed all the way up to the top of the mountain. The fatigue is starting to settle in across the board, but I tell you what, there's one more to go, and that's it. It is going to be Impenetrable Hill going up against We Left School for This, a good old-fashioned open versus Premier matchup. My name is Kit Fox, joined once again by You Wish, and You Wish, your boys did a fantastic job in game number one. Crimson Academy representing Open Division and definitely making their statement and stating their intentions as well when it comes to the upcoming Crucible, getting the win over Twisted Vision. This time it's We Left School for This and Impenetrable Hill. Impenetrable Hill, Premier team picking up game number one. We Left School for This picking up game number two. And this one, you just really cannot split them. It's like picking your favorite child. It's something you shouldn't do, but secretly you kind of have an inkling. But this time, it's just so hard to split these two teams in terms of skill at the moment. A lot of inting was going on, it must be said, by both of these two teams. Impenetrable Hill were very greedy in Towers of Doom. There were several times Stitches died without capitalizing. Spazzo got greedy trying to take down Junkrat in the bottom lane as well. And Impenetrable Hill were really their own worst enemy there.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's really where that game turned around. That when Spazzo trying to get that kill on the geezer, just putting himself under the towers, didn't get the kill, and then just got deleted. And that was really where We Left School for This really started to turn it around. I mean, they'd done a good job getting it back at that point, but that was really kind of the beginning of the end. Almost. So they've really set up, like they said, both games going to threes, which is exciting for us as viewers. Not so exciting for those of us that might want to get some sleep sometime this century. But hey, we'll get there eventually.
Mate, throw back to the LAN days where we did 12-hour casts and it was all fun, mate. We're built on endurance down here in the ANZ region. Let's have a quick look at the bans. It will be Hanzo being taken away for ban number one for Impenetrable Hill, as well as Mummy Whitemane. She is going to be benched for this one. And it looks like Genji and Tracer on the side of We Left School for This. They realize that Tracer and the Slippery Heroes just cause them so many issues, especially in the hands of Impenetrable Hill. Now, here's someone we haven't seen for a while, Greymane.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to race, he's still pretty good. So interesting. I liked seeing the Murid and I liked seeing the Rainer on the side of We Left School for This, though, as a bit of a not necessarily a counter, but like kind of an equal out into that Greymane. So yeah, it's someone. Yeah, you're not wrong. We don't see him very much. The old Wolfman.
One of my favourite characters in the Warcraft lore, by the way. Meanwhile, over on the side of We Left School for This, it is Rainer. No real surprise there, considering we are on Battlefield of Eternity. The race is prioritized, and who does it better than good old-fashioned Jimmy R? And, I mean, back in the day before his rework, it was still a viable option. Now that we've got new Jimmy, it's almost a must-pick on Battlefield.
Yeah, most definitely. His popularity and his usefulness has just rocketed up with that rework. Blizzard did a very good job making him so competitive. The old two-button Terry, he is no longer. So it'll be good to see him and getting the ban on that Diablo. So We Left School for This. Use the Diablo last time. They're picking the Muradin this time and banning out the Diablo. Do you think we could possibly see something like a Garrosh, something we haven't seen tonight, something a little bit more exciting? Or
I'm surprised we actually haven't seen Garrosh, considering just the sheer utility that the old Orc-Man has. But it is going to be Anubarak and Rehgar. Now, I don't mind the Anubarak pick. That Cocoon just able to neutralize somebody very, very quickly. It'll probably be Jimmy. And Li Ming being picked up as well by Impenetrable Hill. It's smart considering Disintegrate literally melts Cocoon. So what better way than if you've used your three bans to make sure that your number one counter isn't there, as to pick it for yourself. Now, Thrall and Blaze are going to be the last two locked in for We Left School for This, and their race game is just so lit right now.
Yeah, melee comp, that's going to be deadly. I kind of feel like we're going back to 2017 looking at Impenetrable Hill. Greymane, Anubarak, Rehgar. I mean, Li Ming's never really fallen off, but we've seen her consistently competitively for a while now. But that's such an old school type of draft. It's going to be interesting to see. And Diva.
Nice. Nice. I like this pick. We don't see Diva often. Then the last time we did it, well, one of the more memorable times we did was back when Mind Freak were known as Nomiya, and nobody could knock off the Titans. There was just absolutely nothing that they couldn't deal with. And then all of a sudden, Darkseid had picked Diva and just threw a spanner into the works. And I really like this one on Battlefield of Eternity, considering that self-destruct can create a monstrous zone and zone out all of this. You said it yourself, very melee-heavy comp on the side of We Left School for this. And naturally, you got to get close to deal your damage. With a Diva blowing self-destruct through your choke points, through your points of attack, you're really going to struggle. So that, in my opinion, is an S-tier pick coming out from Spazzo.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's a little bit different, and yeah, like you said, into it. That's a fair point. Into a triple melee comp, the Diva with that explosion, that they could get some serious value. They get that lockdown, and they can time it right, get those real combos set up. They could potentially. This is really going to be good to see if they can pull this comp off.
You're damn right. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 of this best-of-3 series between Impenetrable Hill and We Left School for this on blue. It is Impenetrable Hill. Krazo is playing Anubarak. Hill on Li Ming. Spazzo is playing Diva. AT on Greymane. And Koality on Rega.
And on the red side for one last game tonight, we got Tanner on that Thrall. Jester again picking up that tank on the Miriam on the Decade, Geezer showing us Jimmy, and all G on that Blaze.
Yep, and Blaze is going to be very, very pivotal with those bunkers coming into this game. I mean, the ability to neutralize a lot of ults, including that self-destruct, is something that you just cannot understate. Once level 10 is hit, that is where I think We Left School for this are going to have their best chances. But what they need to capitalize on is, sorry, talking about Impenetrable Hill now, what they need to capitalize on is these reset potential from the Li Ming and the assassination potential of the Greymane.
Yeah, definitely. And just on that Blaze too, he's the one hero in Heroes of the Storm that only has one ultimate. So, oh, heroic. But yeah, no, it's going to be a good turn. I think Blaze is probably going to do slightly better in that solo lane into the Diva. But we'll just see how they go.
And lots of damage already being thrown out, but the heals are just as good on the side of We Left School for this. You've got Decade, who at level 1 is just so strong. We've seen a lot of the gems build being utilized tonight by, well, everybody who's played Decade. Helium has utilized it back in game number 1. We saw the Crimson Healer use it as well as the Sapphire as well as the Emerald. So speed reduction, healing reduction. It's nasty to go up against the Decade.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, it's as Polowa start to a game, we've seen not kidding.
I think you're right at that, but that's because it is getting a little bit late. Now the Sapphire Empowered Haraja Cube will go out, doesn't actually collect too much. Meanwhile, the bottom Kazaras will go over in favor of Impenetrable Hill, and they score first blood. They take down Muradin and send the main take back to the bench, but up in the top lane, it's all going LG's way, going up against Spazzo, who is about to lose a mech if he's not careful, but you know Diva does Diva things. Can often, depending on the build, have a lot of impact in that pilot mode.
Yeah, I mean, you step back and be careful. Diva can quickly get up that damage, and it's going to put some chinks into Ulji's armor, and it's going to help him get that mech back nice and quickly.
Level 5 is looming for Impenetrable Hill. They're going to take the Shaman camp, arguably the strongest camp in the game, and that is timing if I've ever seen it. So We Left School for this, letting the ball slip through their fingers there as the first Immortal phase gets underway. Impenetrable Hill with pristine timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect timing. They're going to have to rotate to clear that camp out. It's going to get that damage in that bottom lane. But they're going to fight around this Immortal.
You don't want to be fighting underneath the Blue Immortal, especially if you're the red team. There goes Thrall. That is what happens. Now, Jester on this Muradin just drinks of those potions like it's happy hour, and he will have to retreat because being one man down is not where you want to be, especially coming into this first objective phase. Having a look at the race onto AT on Greymane, going for viciousness and thick skin as his talents of choice. And we'll probably see a Wizened Duelist a little bit later too.
And interesting, I don't think I've ever seen this talent. Muradin taking Sledgehammer on,
That's happened.
his level 4.
Happened in Premier Division.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's one of those. It's like Artanis taking his talent at level 1 for that fight into the Immortal. So yeah, it's an interesting little bit of a pick for Battlefield of Eternity. Like, makes sense for Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, it does. So that's going to be another frag. This time it's going to be Reyna who gets taken down. And it's not looking good here for We Left School for this. And they lose another one. They lose Muradin. Yes, it's just starting to all fall apart here. Tattering for We Left School for this, you wish.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried, but, we're posting. We're only 4 minutes in. They're going to lose this first Immortal, but it's going to be relatively healthy. They can, just lose a fort, maybe. Hopefully keep it away from the keep wall. We'll see. Possibly they're going to be probably a lot more ability to be a lot more aggressive with getting the bunker, like we said earlier, at level 10. Now that should turn them around. So as long as they can stem the bleeding and not give up too much value, they can, fight their way back into it. HotS is always a game about comebacks.
Just want to touch on the Sledgehammer. We did actually see it once in the Premier Division. I can't pinpoint which team actually did it, but it actually got the win, if I recall correctly. So 350% to the Immortal. Even though you're Muradin, you don't really hit too hard, as Jester is forced to Dwarf Toss away there. It does find value on Battlefield. It's probably the only map where I'd say it's viable. Especially when you choose that over any of the other talents on offer at level 4. Regardless, they finally hit level 7 to We Left School for this, and they have to deal with this Immortal that's knocking on their door. Hill just narrowly getting away there with the blink as the penetrating round coming across from Geezer's Reyna narrowly clipped his heels.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job by Geezer, really just locking in onto Hill and doing a fantastic job getting that lockdown onto that Nubrak. They lose their Muradin, unfortunately, and Geezer's possibly going to fall as well. So this fight, this game's it's going backwards and forwards. Impenetrable, a level and a half experience level lead though now. And they've, a little bit of damage on that keep wall. They're certainly putting themselves in a good position for the next few minutes of the game, at least.
Yeah, they're very sweaty at the start of this game. It must be said they are pulling no punches at all. They're about to hit level 10 with taking the top Kazaras. They've got ults. They're a full level and a half ahead of We Left School for this at this point in time. Who, we said it before, they were a little bit complacent when it come to the first Immortal phase. They did not take their Shaman camps. They did not time anything at all. Meanwhile, Impenetrable Hill, showing that endurance that they're known for, they were able to take their own Shamans. Now they're going for the invade here, and I think We Left School for this. I don't know, maybe they've got class tomorrow or something. Maybe they've re-enrolled because it looks like they just don't want to turn up to this game at this point in time.
Yeah, they're really strong. I mean, there's not much you can do when you're 9 and your opponent's level 10. They just have to give up that Bruiser camp. But if they keep just giving up things, then Impenetrable Hill is going to finish this game incredibly quickly. They're going to get this pressure while they're dealing with that camp. All 5 are going to be down. They're going to push this fort down, possibly put some pressure on OG. He should be able to get away.
20 seconds until the Immortal is up yet again, and Impenetrable Hill have got We Left School for this in a headlock at the moment and are just slowly suffocating them and putting them to sleep. Just whispering in their ear, shh, it'll be okay. It's gonna be fine. Just go to sleep. Level 11 now being hit and still waiting for that power spike. Are We Left School for this? They need to get the soak on before they are any hope of taking this Immortal.
Yeah, Tanner stayed in the top lane that entire time, just trying to get 10. They've finally got it now, but they're going to have to give up the first half of this Immortal race. That Impenetrable Hill easily going to get to 50%. And now we can have to see what We Left School for this can do with their heroics.
Spazzo does have that self-destruct available, but doesn't get to utilize it. Comes straight out of the mech, on top of a scroll of ceiling. Here we go, Jester into that avatar. How about the Lornado? Oof, so strong. The bunker comes down and will be enough to survive and secure the kill. Well done. Onto a Nubarak. So we left school for this, keep their hopes alive. One of the tanks are down for 20 seconds. Tanner, so low. Oh, AT with a fantastic dark disengage there. Turns back into human form and uses that range potential to secure the kill onto Thrall. So they trade him up 1-for-1 in that fight. He has gone for Cursed Bullet as well. So sucks to be a tank if you're playing for We Left School for this at the moment here, you wish.
Yeah, and Impenetrable Hill with D.Va out of her mech as well. They have so much damage going onto that model. This is going to possibly be 100% shielded Immortal. Going to be going into the bottom lane more than likely, and that is terrifying.
There we go. That's going to be the second Immortal going over to Impenetrable Hill, and it is a strong one, you wish. As the disengage tries to come across here from Impenetrable Hill. Krazo again in the firing line. Tanner trying to take him down, but he left his backline unprotected, and Jimmy bites the dust. AT goes in for a greedy kill. And if I need to say one thing about Impenetrable Hill's gameplay across all the games tonight is that they have been very, very greedy and very tunnel visioned when it comes to securing kills, which is exactly what happened to AT there.
Yeah, he was really doing damage on that grey main. It's a big got locked down. They're able to get that return kill. The problem is this Immortal, this lane was prepped well down in the bottom lane. There was the Khazra camp was already there, and so this Immortal is just they're gonna get these kills, which is what they need to do. But that Immortal still got half a shield on it.
It's so strong, but we're losing the Anubarak. You don't want to give any more room for We Left School for this to be. You don't want to give. Yeah, sorry about that. You don't want to be giving We Left School for this any more room because, when you lose the Anubarak in one of your main tanks, in fact, there is a D.Va, but one of your main tanks going into the fight, even though you have a very strong Immortal, you don't want to give any more. We saw Crimson Academy in the first game tonight get staggered time and time again, and that's what cost them that first game. Impenetrable Hill saw that, and they say, we do not want to be in that same boat. You've got a kill, good on ya, we're not going to give you any more. At the moment, they do have the advantage. It's only slight, but it's there in terms of EXP. Kills are going their way, but you really can't take anything away from the way that We Left School for this have been soaking it up in that top lane while the fights have been going down bottom. That's been Tanner, the Spanner himself, getting it done. Didn't actually pick Crash Lightning, went for Echo of the Elements as well. So smart play there, considering, I think, 3 patches in a row that Crash Lightning got nerfed?
Oh, yeah. Crash, yeah, exactly. That is a talent that was so first pick when he first got his rework, but then they got rid of that so hard. We do not see that very much. And Impenetrable Hill doing a bit of a fight, trying to invade on this camp again. They're going to succeed with that D.Va's explosion, just pushing We Left School for this back off the point.
That is the power of the D.Va bomb. The self-destruct creates the zone, allowed Impenetrable Hill to go in, get the steal, and push basically deny We Left School for this. Their Shamans, we have a look at the replay now, you'll see it on your screen as we get now into the next Immortal phase, 3 seconds and counting. Impenetrable Hill, not only did they steal the Shamans away from We Left School for this, they're now taking their own. So there's going to be, double pressure. There would have been double pressure, but We Left School for this answered it back very, very quickly. Still in this game they are, and now Spazzo with that enhanced defensive matrix. It's the diverting power, the one that gives you that one. Now, he's just soaking up so much of the aggression that We Left School for this are able to throw out. There is no self-destruct at this point in time. Did actually utilize the boosters to deal a bit of displacement. There's another defensive matrix. Lornado just pushes everybody back. This choke point play is wonderful. That is a brilliant ancestral healing coming across there and keeping AT alive, who throws down the Earthbind totem. But at this point, you wish it's still even Stevens as opposed to Immortal health.
Yeah, both teams just really focusing on each other at the moment. It's a team fight that We Left School for this really can't afford to lose. They blew all of their heroics in that team fight. And on on the side of Impenetrable Hill, a couple of their heroics, they have such a cooldown to be able to re-engage is far stronger.
It is, and now the ults will come through. There's another self-destruct from D.Va. Doesn't collect anybody, so well done there from Tanner, who is actually going to get a Nubarak here, and that will be Stormbolt quest completed for Jester on the Muradin. Spazzo's going to go down as well, and baby D.Va gets absolutely destroyed, and we left school for this. All of a sudden, have got themselves back in it.
Yeah, it's what he needed to do. I mean, that camp did go back before it gets that keep at bottom. That's probably not really what they wanted to happen, but I get 2 kills. Hopefully they can at least get to the 50% mark, get to the half time on these Immortals, get that nice damage in. There was some really heads-up play by Orgy, getting in front of the D.Va there with his making sure that she could not get out.
Meanwhile, while that fight was going on, just cast your eyes down to the bottom keep there. It's below half health. That was because the Shaman camp was taken with military precision there by Impenetrable Hill. Now that they've got a Nubarak back up, now that they've got themselves their D.Va, they are going to look to re-engage here. But it's been leveled up. They lose AT, and oh my god, Quality just fat fingering the ancestral healing there onto Hill as opposed to Greymane. And this is disastrous now. I don't know what is happening. Both of these two teams just falling victim to the fatigue now. And we left school for this. All of a sudden, they've lifted, they've benched, and they start flexing. They've got the first Immortal under their belt of the game.
Yeah, they've got a long way to go. But, with this half-shielded Immortal, 15, they're half a level from 16, half a level ahead of Impenetrable Hell. If they could get a pick right now, that would really put this game back on its edge. They're going to possibly start being able to pressure these keep walls. It's really up to them. These last couple of fights, they've done a very good job of isolating their target, whether it's been AT. They're doing a fantastic job using that explosion now to clear out some of the Immortals' health. And we're just going to poke each other.
Will we see, again, the Open Division team knock off a Premier Division team? It's looking likely at this point in time. It took We Left School for this a little while to wake up, it must be said. They started this game off extremely shaky, but all of a sudden it looks like they've had their triple shot espresso and they have just turned up. Spazzo's going to lose a mech yet again. Jester taking lots of damage is actually forced to use the avatar there, so well done from Impenetrable Hill to pop that one off. It is only a 30-second cooldown on Disintegrate, which was what was really carbon chunks out of We Left School's attack there. Meanwhile, Avatar, that's a long cooldown. That's about 90 seconds. So, yeah, big plays, big baits, and Spazzo now sitting back there in the mech is actually not opting for, well, he is actually going to opt for Big Shot in pilot mode as the ult, as opposed to Bunny Hop. Let's see if that pays off for him.
Yeah, I mean, Big Shot, that increases their damage, that increases their race as well, so... No, not a bad choice. The teams, they've both got 16 now. They're just both falling back, getting some camps. Impenetrable Hill, just getting their Shaman camp a little bit earlier than what we've seen them in the past. They did a fantastic job of getting it at a good time in reference to the Immortal. This time deciding to just capture it now. With We Left School for this, getting a little bit, like I said, flexing just a little bit, making sure they don't want to lose that camp. So getting a little bit early, probably won't get the value that they've seen in the past.
Look at all the soak that is being missed out on up in the top lane here by Impenetrable Hill. Again, they're doing what We Left School for this have been doing, and that is just tunnel visioning the kills here at the moment. They need to get themselves back ahead on EXP, because at the moment it's all We Left School for this. They're about half a level ahead, and, that can blow out very quickly if you don't manage to get a raid on it.
Yeah, for sure. There was a bit of an odd engage from Impenetrable Hill. They kind of wanted to push this lane out. They used the Cursed Bullet. Obviously, it doesn't have very long cooldown, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But they didn't really get much. They kind of just limped away. And given that We Left School for this have won the last couple of team fights, it's interesting play. But, We Left School for this didn't pressure them too much either. So now we just go back to this Immortal phase where everyone looks at each other and casually throws things every once in a while.
Yeah, these gemmed up cubes are really causing Impenetrable Hill problems. This time it's actually going to be a Karnos cube picked up at level 7 as opposed to the as opposed to the Emerald, but that's going to be a frag going the way over to Impenetrable Hill. They take down Thrall, which is big. LG extremely deep, is forced to blow the bunker, and is going to pay for that with his life. Big plays from Impenetrable Hill. They've got 2 on the board, and now they channel themselves to get the Hill up into the top lane to answer the Shaman camp, but the race is well in their favor at this point in time.
Yeah, and that was just a fantastic job. They managed to crawl. He got his Earthquake down, but they killed him so quickly, and then LG dropped the bunker there, but just put him in a bad spot. He was just surrounded by blue, not red, like he would have preferred, and they managed to just pull him off, and that's gonna, help them. They've turned it around. They're gonna get near 100%. They've got 90-95% shielded Immortal. That's gonna be dangerous. We're gonna see at least the keep go down in the top lane likely from here. As long as they can not drop any kills, WLSFT School for this can still be in it, but 1 or 2 deaths go down and this game's going to end very quickly.
If WLSFT School for this are not careful, you're right, this Immortal could definitely run over the top of them here. It is almost 100% HP, 100% shields. Almost 100% shields. It's nasty. What they need to do here is get a cheeky pick. That's what they need. They've got the Anubarak, and every single time it's that squishy frontliner that is the first one to be taken down. Spazzo very, very close to another self-destruct, and the bunker as well as the Lornado was used by WLSFT School for this there. So a bit of investment used, but it pays off for them in the end, and that will just pull the pin on the attack from Impenetrable Hill, and they're not even going to get a fortification out of this. The keep is going to stay alive.
They did a fantastic job of getting that kill. I was, a bit concerned that Stormbolt missed the Anubarak, but there was enough lockdown from the Blaze to manage to kill him. Like you said, Anubarak's a little bit squishier than some of our other tanks that we have in the game at the moment. Did a fantastic job, and it's only by the skin of its teeth, but that keep stays up, which means there's no catapults that they have to worry about in the top lane. And now they're going to try and pressure this 4 vs 5 that they've got.
Oh no, AT! The Cursed Bullet missed completely as well, and the Lornado is just going to push him back in, and that will be another kill going over to WLSFT School for this once again. Impenetrable Hill, just as it seems as though they are going to recoup from an early engage after losing a member. Just as that member respawns, they lose another one. So WLSFT School for this now doing a fantastic job of staggering Impenetrable Hill out here, and they're going to steal the Shamans away from them. Once again, WLSFT School for this, after being on the back foot in the initial stages of this game, yet another game, have just woken up and turned it on. They're stealing the Shaman camps away from Impenetrable Hill, just like their opponents did to them in the early stages. This game is going to go down to the wire. EXP is almost dead even. Kills dead even yet again. The only advantage that Impenetrable Hill have at this point is that top tower.
Yeah, and those keeps are both pretty low. Hopefully, WLSFT School for this make sure that they don't get backdoored. There's an opportunity if they focus on those Immortals. See a bit of a pause right now. But yeah, I mean, this game, they want to take this series to the wire. We're 21 minutes in. This Immortal coming up, spawning, it could be the one.
It's 11 o'clock at night, and they call a pause. What is going on? Where are you based, you wish?
I'm in New Zealand, so I've got good internet, also 2 hours later. But that's all right.
Rip you, pepperoni pizzas knocking at your door. So, yep, as you said, the Immortal phase is going to be coming in, and the Khazra is going to be taken up the top lane by Impenetrable Hill, so a bit of map pressure. They don't have their Shamans to work with, so they use what they've got. That will allow a little bit of room for WLSFT School for this, though, to get to work on the Immortal, and it's actually spawned in their favor relatively beneficially. I mean, it's hell beneficially. It's all the way over their side of the map. But the race game on the side of Impenetrable Hill is pretty good, even though Jimmy's on the other side and Muradin has a sledgehammer, able to deal a fair bit of chunky damage to WLSFT School for this Immortal, considering they rolled up to that fight late.
Yeah, that race was incredible. incredibly impressive. I expected We Left School for this to get a slightly bigger advantage, like you said, because with their rotation from getting that camp in the top from Impenetrable Hill. But they're a little bit behind, but not too far in the terms of how much damage people put out in this part of the game.
Ancestral coming across this time from Quality, and it lands. So that is a big self-destruct there from Spazzo. Will hit OG, but brushes it off like it's just a fly on his shoulder. No damage at all coming out there from the self-destruct. And I tell you what, We Left School will be looking at that going, you know what, I think we can actually take this. Why are we running when the self-destruct comes along? D.Va hasn't taken any talents which buff self-destruct in the slightest. It is a pure zoning tool at this point. And that just might have shown them that it's not really too much to worry about.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, and sure they eventually get that kill on Greymane. AT was going for that Immortal. He'd rotated down to try and get that damage, but Tanner had rotated down, and he managed to get this pull. This, they get one more kill here. Spazzo's going to lose his mech. Is he going to lose? Possibly going to lose more as well. We've got to go through a fort, but those heroes, D.Va's dead for another 60 seconds, Kit. This could be the end.
Yep, level 20, and the timers are long. Every frag counts, and at this point in time, it's all We Left School for this. I don't think it's the win condition at this point in time, because Greymane will be up in 20 seconds. What Impenetrable Hill need to do here is just hold as best they can. Stagger it out. Whiffing and Impale is not holding. Hill doing a good job of throwing out those arcane orbs, landing the magic missiles, forcing the cleanse out of Quality onto Krazo as well, who, it must be said, Anubarak probably not his best hero, considering the way he's played tonight on certain other picks. And now Greymane rejoins the fight, but this Immortal is still pretty strong, just above 50% HP. They start knocking on the door of the core. 10 seconds until D.Va rejoins the fray. Lornado yet again. Earthquake comes across, this time from Thrall. The ults are flying, the bunker goes down. There is so much damage coming out, and I tell you what, We Left School for this have got it.
I was so busy focusing on whether if We Left School for this could get a pick, then I think Impenetrable Hill did the same thing, and the Immortal just absolutely chunked through that core. We're looking, like a 25-minute Immortal. It did its job. We Left School for this have done it.
That is it, and I tell you what, I'm not wearing one at the moment, but I am tipping my fedora to the open teams tonight. I mean, yeah, you tip that lip that's on the other side of your head.
Yeah, we won't worry about that. That's
Good
poor
work.
choice.
Good work, Slim Evan. Let's have a quick look at the replay here for this core race, and it's all We left Bunnings. We left Bunnings and School for this. We left Bunnings and School for this to turn up at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night and take a best of 3 series 2-1. I really have to give my commendations to the way that the open teams have played tonight. Both of them seriously impressive. I mean, We Left School for this were a little bit more shaky than Crimson Academy, but you cannot dissuade any of them. They played fantastically, defeating both of the Premier Division teams tonight. You wish your boys are they're definitely something to watch out for.
Yeah, look, they really turn it up. Yeah, like you said, We Left School for this a little bit of a shaky 2-1, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how you get the win as long as you get that big fat W. They've got to be happy with that. Going into whatever the Crucible will be, both teams have done a fantastic job and showed that they can at least take it to these Premier teams, and that's good. That's why we have the Open Division. We want to develop this talent. We want them to be able to compete against some of these teams to really reinforce the region, and it's fantastic to see. We've had two fantastic series tonight. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
That is it. Do yourself a favor, get onto those VODs. They are only available to subs only on the GameStar channel, but maybe, just maybe, we'll put them up on YouTube. If you're nice, behave. If you're nice, we'll see. But that's 11-13 in terms of kills. 2-1 going over to We Left School for this. Thank you so much for joining me, You Wish. It's been an absolute pleasure casting with you, my man. And honestly, I'm ready for bed. I know you are too, and I know a lot of the chat is. We can hear our producer snoring in the background, basically. So once again, the results tonight were Crimson Academy, the Open Division team, really impressing a lot of people tonight, going up against Twisted Vision, taking them down 2-1 in an extremely close game. I'm talking 4% HP core, ladies and gents. Watch the VODs. We left school for this just on stream now, defeating Impenetrable Hill 2-1, and it has been an absolutely fantastic night. Remember, there are the Crucible games coming up, so stay tuned. Follow at GameStar on Twitter for all the news relating to that, as well as Blizzard Esports ANZ. And remember, there is also the Intercontinental Clash where Mindfreak and Crimson will be going up against Latin America's best on the 15th and 16th of September. Everybody will be there bringing you that action. Hopefully, you'll be nice enough to join us as well, because it will be a fantastic production. So once again, on behalf of everybody here at GameStar, my co-caster, You Wish, myself, Kit Fox, thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward to the pleasure of your company next time.